Well, today we're in the 2023 Lexus UX 250h F Sport, which adds in some nice little features in this beautiful reddish interior, right? This nice small little SUV, it reminds me so much of the Subaru Crosstrek, but with all of the nice, comfortable, quiet features that you expect in a Lexus. It is a hybrid, it's got a 2-liter engine in it, and the range is quite fantastic. The efficiency of this vehicle is very good. So kick back, relax, let's talk about this guy, and I'll show you everything I can see. So welcome back to the channel here, ladies and gentlemen, into another Lexus review. Again, this is the 2023 Lexus UX 250h F Sport trim. Always enjoy getting into the F Sports because they're just, everything about them, from the upholstery and the unique interior features to the timing or the power that the engine typically has, to the features like the shifting paddles and things like that. I really like the F Sports. But getting back to the actual this UX series, it's that smaller SUV. It's not going to be quite as expensive as the RX, but it's also not going to have all the same features that the little bit larger SUV has, right? Now, I have really enjoyed this. I put on over 400 miles on a trip because this vehicle gets 40 miles to the gallon. About 41 on the highway if you actually stick to the highways. And it does get that. It's always lovely to actually have a vehicle that gets it, even when where I was going had quite a few hills, is probably the best way to say it. But that said, this specific vehicle is very comfortable. It drove very, very well. I got the fuel economy that I expected. And on top of all of that, it was really quiet. I like driving on the road and having a vehicle that's quieter than usual because it just makes the trip more enjoyable, and you don't have to have the radio cranked when you want to listen to something. And so I was able to listen to podcasts and stuff like that without cranking the radio. Always nice. Now this has a 2-liter engine, and so for an F Sport, it's not going to be super powerful. 181, I think, horsepower is what it's actually rated at. But for what it is, it's nicely sized, specifically for the fact that it is a hybrid, so you do have that electric package built into this as well. And on top of all that, the efficiency. You're buying this car, at least in my opinion, one of the main reasons you're going to buy this car is because it's extremely efficient. It is what it is. That roundabout number of 40, gets you to the point where, yeah, I mean, it's efficient. They rate in town at 38. Actually, I've been getting around 40 in town, but of course, it all depends on how you drive and how far you're going and how many stoplights and stuff you hit. So we're going to go around the vehicle on the outside to show you the outside of the vehicle like we normally do. We'll go through the inside. I'll show you this beautiful 12.3 inch, I think is how big the display is. Does have wireless CarPlay. It's snappy too, because of the fact, I've been in several vehicles where wireless CarPlay takes a minute for it to actually connect if you do have wireless. This one connects pretty quick. Right after I turn the vehicle on, it doesn't take very long before CarPlay is up and running. You do still have the Bluetooth lag from when you hit play and hit pause, but that's just about every vehicle, to be honest about it. But that said, let's go around the outside, let's go around the inside, I'll show you what's in here, and then we'll finish things up. Okay, so we are going to start up front here, and just so you know, the battery of the hybrid right now is low. That's why the engine is running. I wanted to make sure it actually was running so you could hear what it sounded like while it's running. You hear that fan cooling it down. It is almost 80 degrees out here today. But first of all, we have the look, right? If you look at this, and if you really just didn't see what bumper it had on it, or what the grille looked like, in my opinion, you could say that looks like a Subaru Crosstrek, right? Very, very similar roof rack design, everything like that. Beautiful blue color. Love the color. Nice accent lines. The tail lights with the kind of an angular top here, I actually really like that as well. But all in all, it's a very good looking vehicle. Always gotta love the F Sport logos on there. So yeah, that's what she looks like on the outside. Now this does not have a 360 camera on this one at all, and we do have the backup camera, of course, and it actually is a decent backup camera. So let's get in the inside. All right, I apologize for any wind noise, but it is pretty windy out today. And you see we're greeted with this big display, but like always, let's bring it over here. That way you can see what the window controls and the mirror controls look like on here, as well as locks. We do have 3 settings for driver setting for the seats and such. We have our odometer trip, things like that. Oh, I guess I didn't turn off my camera. Either way. Traction control knob up here. Now, if you've been in a Lexus before that has these knobs up here, they kind of get it out of the way, and they're not going to be things that you use regularly anyway. But I actually don't mind them. The first time I ever got it, I was this is kind of weird, but it does work. I will give it that. The steering wheel controls, kind of standard Lexus steering wheel controls, right? Not too busy, but not definitely not lacking on how many buttons there are on here, right? And like if you've ever used Lexus's driver's display, you do have multiple page settings. So this button right here, you will get it to kind of move over and give you different areas. So like right now, I can put the information like over on the side, or if I hit that button again, bring it back, and it's actually going to be directly below the speedometer information. Now on this one, you can see where we actually have a power meter. And that way you can tell how efficiently you're driving. And then of course they bring it over here. Now we can cycle through. There are different information settings, like all Toyotas and Lexuses, and to be honest, any vehicle really. And we're not going to go into this too much because this is kind of the standard stuff, right? So yeah, and then the settings, right? Obviously very standard. And lately I've been kind of driving it like this. Gives me the gauges on the left and right, and then everything else right down the center. Works pretty good. Over here we have our 12.3, I believe, 12.3 inch display. Does have that wireless CarPlay capability. Yes, 12.3 inch, there we go. We do have a volume knob over here. So we do have the capability of that, and then we're going to control all the entertainment obviously through here. Now the standard radio, you can see what it looks like right here. We can see CarPlay up here, and this is going to be your traditional Lexus controls, where we have our map, we have our audio, we have our phone settings, we have, which is going to bring us back into CarPlay actually, and because I am using CarPlay. Same thing goes if I actually go to settings and I go to Bluetooth and I go to my phone. I can turn off CarPlay in here so it just doesn't use it at all, and you'll use the standard phone and media controls instead of CarPlay itself. So that's up to you. And then you have your vehicle information. So like right now I'm just over 40 miles to the gallon on average, and that's looking at the history since the last time it got reset. And yeah, that's that. But settings, I'm not going to go into this too much. It's your basic settings. It's the same settings that you're going to see on basically every Lexus vehicle. So if you've looked at all, it's all in here. And we can actually change things like vehicle customization, how the doors unlock. So door control, hey, yeah, auto unlocked, whatever. I want to have, which doors unlock. I want just the driver's side door, or nope, I want all doors to unlock when I unlock the vehicle. You can do that all in these settings. So that's that. And of course, CarPlay itself looks like that. Nice and wide, pretty big screen. I like it. It really does work good. Now the vents, I do like the vent control on here. You can slide it back and forth, and then you can just turn the knob to turn it off or turn it back on. Pretty nice. Have our emergency flashers. And then our climate control settings are pretty easy to use. We just have our temperature. I have the fans turned down, and they do show up on the screen to show how fast and what you're controlling. Otherwise, there is auto. I can turn that on. Defrosting the back and the mirrors. Always a nice option. Now this one does have the Qi charger right here, and there is something about this that I hate. So I'm going to throw my phone on here, and it does work with my iPhone with a MagSafe case. It's a big thing. And it doesn't matter. I tried sliding it over to the side and whatever, never had it not work. So that works really good. There are 2 USB-C charge ports here too. However, as soon as you put cups in this cup holder, you are no longer having access to your device. And that is what I don't like about it, there's just no room. As soon as you put a cup, it fills this up. You're not getting to this phone unless you remove the cups from the cup holder. So that's the one thing I dislike, is that it's just kind of jammed up against it. I don't like that. Now that you do have room, like they could have put something like the cups off to the side rather than both of them directly in front of that. So I think they could have design changed that. But it is at the same time, if you're driving, you're probably not supposed to be on your phone anyway, and you do have controls through that. So that's just something to say that I don't like. Now, over here, we have our heated seat and cooled seats control. So right now, I actually have it on auto, and if I cup this, you can see the auto light is on. But if it's daylight out, you can't tell if the auto is on or not. The lights, it's just, I wish that it was something other than white. I wish it was actually a lot brighter and it indicated better, but you can't tell. Like if you hit this button and you turn the auto on, you can't tell. So right now I have auto on both sides as well as the steering wheel. If I was to hit this, and let's say I turn the steering wheel off, you can see now the auto's not on. But when it's bright, when you're driving down the road, it's not like super like, oh yeah, it's on auto, because you can tell it looks like white, right? So it just takes getting used to, but I wish it was like a different color to indicate that. EV mode, if there is enough battery, let's actually take a peek. Yep, hybrid battery is low, so it's not going to let me do EV mode, but that's going to allow you to go, up to like 25 miles an hour or whatever for a short amount of time just on battery with the engine off, so you can sneak out, right? Then your hold setting. Let's come over here to the glove box. Small glove box, but it's decent size. It goes back there a ways, and that's a pretty large set of manuals. At least they do give you, oh look at that, there actually is a cubby in there just for the manuals. I kind of like that. And then we have our center console. If I click this up, center console, USB-A, that's going to be for if you actually want to plug your phone in for the media there, and then you do have your 12 volt in here as well. So nothing too huge, but nothing too crazy small either. And a little, I don't know what you're going to use that for, coins, I guess. And then that's that. So last thing, above, we do have a sun roof on this one, and we can open it and close it or vent, and that's all up there like normal, right? I'm going to shut that for now. All right, let's see about the back seat. Okay, let's take a peek at the back seat. And of course, this is a smaller SUV, so we're going to be a little more cramped. I do have the front seat back pretty much, and so I am touching. So with the front seat back pretty far, to be honest. I can still get in here. I'm 5'11". We do have down here 2 USB-C ports for charging. I apologize if you can't see that. We do have a nice vent with vent control. And in the center here, 2 cup holders. So obviously you're only going to use the cup holders when there's 2 people in the back seat. Otherwise you can get a third. But that's that. We do have looks like pockets only actually on the passenger side, not on the driver's side. So that's that. Let's go ahead and show the back. Okay, I'm going to show this one way. So obviously I can reach under here and there's a button right there that I can pull it open. Or in this version, I can use my foot, kick underneath, and up she comes. I always love that feature. Now we do have a removable divider here. It's just a really lightweight. It actually can fold up. You can kind of see how it's flexible. It's kind of neat. First aid kit here. Always nice to see there. Looks like we do have a 12 volt. There it is. And then I like the under, they do have a nice pad here, but under here what I call the pizza box holder. Nice thin storage for some slimmer needs, right? But in all reality, the amount of storage you're going to have in this is going to be a little bit lacking. So when we do our suitcase test here, it's not going to have as much holding power as some other vehicles. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do our standard carry-on suitcase test. And you can tell right away, and actually I kind of want to know, I don't think these will close in there, but we're going to find out. And I get 4 in. I can put 4 in that way, but will it shut? Without removing that, maybe? We'll see. Oh, look at that. You can see the suitcases, but it did shut. So you can see where that line of suitcases is. Now, if you took that top organizer out, or basically the cover, right? Technically, you probably get maybe 1 more on top. But that's it. 4 carry-on suitcases stacked vertically and done. All right, now that we're running back here, we can close it, or we can close and lock the vehicle. So I'm not going to lock it for now. Nice and quiet. I do want to show you what the backup camera does look like. So I'll throw it in reverse here. And you can see that we do have the lines that do change by the steering wheel. And it is fairly detailed. It's pretty easy to see exactly what's going on back there. And of course, the large screen definitely helps with that. So all in all reality, a quite nicely equipped, smaller SUV, right? Hatchback SUV, I don't know what's the exact classification you really want to put it in, but that's what it is. A small little utility vehicle. I like it. It fits good. It's comfortable. I like the interior a lot. And to be honest, for what it is, you know, having the hybrid technology and everything, it's not terrible in terms of its stature or in terms of its power. It still does have power. Is it the most powerful? No. It's not, like I said, it's not going to win you any races anytime soon. But it is comfy, it is quiet, and it is nice. And to be honest, for the equipment that it has on it, it's not bad. Now this one sits right about $49,000. Full exactly how it is. This one is equipped with the F Sport package, but you know, depending on what you want, there are various trim levels out there. Maybe you don't want the F Sport. That said, the F Sport is nice, and it does make it fun. Now I've been driving in eco mode, and right up in the top right hand corner where those dials are, I'm going to actually change it to Sport mode, or Sport S is what they call it. There's a Sport S Plus, so we'll go to that. We'll go to the S Plus mode, and we're going to come down here onto the highway where I can actually get up to speed at a rapid pace and see how much power it really has. All right, now we can get going. There's 40, 50, 60. So like I said, not the crazy, you know, it's not the fastest in the world, but for a small little vehicle like it is, not terrible, to be honest. Not bad at all. And it is fun to drive. So I also always like, if you've ever been in one of Lexus's vehicles where you have the sport package, you know, where you can change from eco and stuff. Most vehicles out there, to be honest, they change the display where you get a little bit more aggressive stuff on it. Where if I go to the eco mode, it's more about the eco, right? That's why I had the charge and eco and power range. But as soon as you get out of that, you go into normal, or if you go into any other, normal and eco do, but if you go into the sport settings, it gets this more of the tachometer, so you can tell what you're doing with the tach. And then you go to S Plus or Sport Plus, it gets even more like aggressive in terms of watching those revs. So that is my review of the 2023 Lexus UX 250h F Sport. I like it. More than anything, it's a nicely equipped vehicle that's extremely efficient. And efficiency, if I can have a very fun vehicle, but it won't cost me a ton of money to drive because it's efficient, that's ultimately the goal for me. I'm definitely more in the realm of trying to buy something that's in the upper 30s or more in terms of fuel economy than I am to get something that's less. So that's just me. And of course, everybody's different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do like my efficiency. If I could get a pickup truck with 50 miles to the gallon, I'd be the first in line to get one but I don't see that happening for a full-size truck anytime soon. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking to the end, guys. And we'll catch you back here on techgooch for another future video review. We'll see you soon.